Hello Libra, welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh, and everything that we're going to be looking at here can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Let's get into the channeled messages. These are basically what come through in dreams and meditation. The first thing was basically encouragement from Spirit. What it told me was that a new door was about to open, and I was shown different scenes of frustration, block. Sometimes it was a mental block, sometimes an actual block where someone said no. And this reminds me of something it took me a long time to come to realize, but rejection is a form of protection, and oftentimes it helps redirect us or align us to a path that's far better, sort of like a far better reception for us. And you can kind of think of this like, a cord that plugs into the wall. There are certain connections that are easy to make, other ones that require a lot of work, a lot of adaptation. And you want to make sure that if you are adapting or changing, you're not losing something that's core to you. So I think what's really optimal this month is to find something that celebrates you, your insight, your gifts for exactly what it is. You shouldn't have to change or modify yourself in order to get other people's approval. So if something isn't working, it's because something better is on the horizon or within reach. And this is a month of not trying to force open a door here, but to look for other open doors or other areas of receptivity. So that's the first message here. And that last bullet is the most important, which is if you don't see the way to get something done in front of you, this is a time to innovate and to imagine and to open your own door, create your own path. The next thing that I saw here was that you didn't have to be the glue that holds everything together. So in my mind's eye, was seeing this sort of like sticky or viscous energy that was holding you in place to people, places, opportunities, and it made it hard to move forward, move away. And just like this rubber band here, it was stretching you thin. Sometimes we kind of feel like we have to be the fix-it person that goes in and makes everybody's life better, rather. And as a Libra, this is something I think all of us have dealt with at some point, which is trying to balance out the equation for everyone. At the end of the day, it leaves you a lot of times like this Two of Pentacles here, which is that person and their life is great, but now your energy's out of balance. So focus on grounding yourself, putting that wonderful energy of insight into your own life. And if and only if someone's reaching out for some support, then you can lend it, but you decide how much to give, how often to give. And this card here especially is a call to attention to not go too far and not overspend. So just be smart about resource allocation and energy that you're putting out there to the universe, okay? The final thing that I picked up on in dreams was something really powerful here. I was shown someone planting a seed in the earth, which of course represents abundance, a new idea that could be coming through. With this potential, of course, is some responsibility, which means basically when you have an idea, you have to feed it, nurture it, believe in it. And so this is basically the universe saying, make time for all of those things. This can also be a time just to open yourself up to receive. That hand in Rider-Waite-Smith is basically both giving and receiving. So if you've worked really, really hard for something to come in, there comes a moment where all you have to do is say thank you, and a heartfelt thank you, right? If you have abundance overflowing, like the Ace of Cups, you can also give back and say, I give this freely without strings. And it's like a philanthropic and just basically heartfelt offering of gratitude. Interestingly enough, the universe sees this as an understanding from your perspective that abundance continues to flow. And when you give freely, it has to be freely. It can't just be to try to get more. But when you really think, I don't need this, and I know you do, take it, please. Then again, it opens up new opportunities in the horizon for you. So you could be either in the act of giving or receiving this month, but I see resources flowing, and that is a good thing. And that's also when we look at the previous slide, if you can open yourself up to receive, it takes us to the Three of Pentacles, which is recognition, which is learning a lesson and really graduating to the next level. And I think that's what this month wants to bring in, is that next level energy. So with that being said, let's turn the attention now to the cards and see what additional messages want to come through. As I mentioned earlier, this can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. All right, let's begin with catalyst energy here. The catalyst, of course, helps you focus on the important energy or direction of this month. This card kind of came in on its side, but let's turn it upright so we can read the two words. It says nebula and fog. These are two very different concepts that I want to highlight. We're going to start off first with the fog. I think for many of you, you might be clearing through a mental fog. And this could be fixating on something from the past, or even something in the future that you're trying to create and missing out on the present. This also includes sometimes putting too much energy into fear or anxieties and missing out on what is here in this moment. So the invitation here is to let go of those sort of like distracting thoughts, if you will, because they are creating a little bit of a mental fog. If you're just having difficulty in concentrating, or you have a difficulty in not knowing all the facts, this can be also something where you might benefit from working with someone else who can kind of coach you through that and help you see through some of those fears or anxieties. The nebula piece is a lot more fun. This is kind of like a creative sandbox. A planetary nebula happens when a star either becomes a red giant and dissolves its outer shell, or there can also be a nebula after something goes supernova, and it's the leftover materials from which new things come forth and spring to life. This nebula can actually be after a tower moment, Libra, and I see devil energy in the crowning position. So for some of you, there was something out of your control, and you may have had to make an actual move, or you might have had to let go of something or move in a direction that you didn't see yourself having to do at this point in time. And it could be sort of like your head is in the clouds for a moment. Seven of Cups would be very much connected to the nebula and fog energies. It's cloudy, but it's also full of possibility. So this time around, you get to choose differently. You get to explore all of the options, and sometimes really good things can spring forth out of a challenge or out of something that you probably didn't want to happen. So let's take a look at the cards here and see how you can embrace the nebula side and clear the fog and hopefully make the most of this month ahead. Well, let's talk about what I love. I do love that you have Two of Cups energy smack dab in the center, as well as something good coming in with respect to resources. It even says wealth on this card. So we've got some love, we have some wealth coming in, we have a second chance, possibly even a move or a trip. There is something challenging that we'll deal with here in just a moment that is out of your control, but there's a lot of things moving in your favor. I think this is a necessary change, Libra. Let's begin with the centermost card. At the center, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So for some of you, this could just be an unexpected friendship or partnership that comes knocking. And when this happens, sometimes especially after a period of being on your own or even sort of writing that chapter off, there can be disbelief, right? This can't be happening, or what's this person's ulterior motive? Sometimes there's just a new friend coming through or new love coming through. When I get into relationships, we can dig deeper into that, but one thing that I see here is you've just done the work. We have this beautiful lotus petal here, or blossom rather, and that's basically showing that you've moved through all of those inner layers of healing and work. And once you've done that, then other people can see it, recognize it, and they're ready to come in. But there's some resistance for some of you. So for those that are single and looking, there could be that sort of last leg of the journey, which is just saying, I'm ready to receive, right? For the rest of you, I have a very different message. Let's say you're very focused on helping others, particularly for those of you that might be a teacher, a coach, if you're a mentor, if you just tend to put yourself out there and help others quite a bit. This card is reminding you not to sort of deplete your energy first and foremost, but also don't neglect yourself. And remember that it's okay to ask for things as well. We have a beautiful reflection energy here, and it's all about reciprocation, give and take. And there may be some areas in your life where you've done more than enough, investing, giving, and, sort of like just basically putting your energy there. So this is saying, allow yourself now to also receive, to ask, to lean on others, because it looks like there is love and it looks like there's support that wants to come through as well. The final message here is discernment. So for those that are focusing a bit on love and partnerships, this can be business too. This is saying, keep your standards high. If something doesn't meet your expectations, it's okay to say no. Crossing that center card is one of planning here. We have the Two of Wands. This card empowers creative cards like the Magician and High Priestess. So what it's basically saying is, take a moment and figure out not just what your next move is, but what the move after that and the move after that is. So in career, you're really looking at the long game, not just like the next job or the current sort of move. It's more like, what do I really hope to accomplish, full stop, with this trajectory that I'm in? And when we're looking at creative opportunities or personal development, it's not about trying to box yourself in. You're trying to see, well, this is one stepping stone, and you're going to ripple out from there to see all of the possibilities. Dream a little bit, have some fun, plan, reach into the next year or two, and that's going to be a good starting point. And what I really love about this particular card is you don't always see the fiery element in this. You can see it in this one. When you have the focus, you can then really put your energy behind things that matter and see them light up in the best possible way. We also see like an archer here almost, and it's about taking aim and deciding where you want to put that energy and that intention as well. Informed movement is really, really what this is talking about. And for some of you, we've got the power of two twice. So you might be able to partner up and two minds are better than one, solve a problem that might be vexing you. Okay, in the deep past, for some of you, you have either landed on something amazing that's going to open up a lot of doors, or you're fresh off of the heels of success. Either way, it's still in your energy, Libra, and success is not about cloning or being like a cookie cutter version of the past. It's an evolution, and it takes many shapes and forms. So redefine success. It's something for longtime viewers that you've heard me say, but it bears repetition here. Your version of success can and will differ from your friends, your parents, your teachers. It evolves over time. So this card combined with this is saying, what do you currently define success as, and what will it be in the future, and how is that going to inform your next movement, your next decision? Because things should be fulfilling and satisfactory and setting you up in a place where you feel like you're making a difference. The other thing here is many of you are just being asked to take the lead. In a traditional illustration, we would see someone riding on a horse and everyone else either cheering or following or paying attention. It's a spotlight card. So people are looking to you for an example, possibly even for some hope or some clarity, because guess what? Their heads may be in the nebula or fog. So you're like the lighthouse, Libra, this month, and all you have to do is take a step and show people how you're doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be, you know, the best version of yourself, and you're showing like, here's my direction, here's what I think, you know, and that in and of itself can also give other people hope. So we have success, we have love, we have vision, and now we have wealth and opportunity. I like where you're at. I think that the energy around you is more in the nebula and less in the fog. You may feel a little uncertain, but what I'm seeing in the cards is really pointing more to opportunity than anything. Ten of Pentacles energy can represent marriage, a contract. It can be a new home. It can be an abundance of wealth and opportunity. And it can be this sort of beautiful grounding energy that we see here. And yes, partnership. But before we get into that partnership, there's an interesting sort of dichotomy between these two cards. Let's take a moment here and look at the traditional Lovers and Devils cards, and then let's look at the Ten of Pentacles and Devil, because they actually almost have the similar imagery here. But in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you'll see that these cards are higher and lower versions of one another. So in the Lovers card, we see unconditional love. We see the two people facing each other under the guidance of divinity and an angel. We have a different kind of angel here in the lower one, and the couple is chained together rather than facing one another out of choice. So you have a choice to go in a different direction this month. And just like those illustrations, we have the lovers on these two cards. There's usually a family or lovers also on the Ten of Pentacles. But I showed you those two because very similar imagery in these two. So here we have two people that are forced together through chains or a web in this particular card. And here we have two people that are choosing to join together, and it's in this sort of mutual grounding and understanding. So even though this isn't the lovers, it has a lot of that energy, and it has unconditional energy, and also this sort of choice, like, let's do this, where this is more like, let's get out of this. So Libra, this month, there's something that doesn't serve you. That's really what this is showing you. And it's just time to release it. The devil can, in its highest and most easiest to release form, be a blocking thought, like I can't do this, or it won't happen, or I'm stuck. The stuck piece is really what this devil card is trying to reiterate. You're only as stuck as you allow yourself to be, Libra. So I think the main thing to focus on this month is what's holding you to a habit, to a person, to a place, to a thing that's serving more as an anchor than something that lifts you up and creates that sense of joy and partnership that we see at the center, because that's really what wants to come through. We have two of the most elevated partnership cards, Two of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and then we have the ultimate low card here with the Devil card, and it's saying you can do better. You can do better than something in your life, and you deserve it. I see it. Success, vision, love, support. And so it's time to walk in a new direction. Or for some of you, possibly walk towards something that you put to the side and just didn't put a lot of time and energy into. Eight of Cups is a return to form. It's a second chance. It's a necessary break. Some of you have been working too hard. It doesn't have to be like a long vacation. It can just be a few weeks or a few days, but take some time, gather your thoughts. Whatever this is and whatever this is will clear if you give yourself time to see it from a new perspective. That's the single best thing that you can do for yourself this month, is to take a break. And when it comes to your schedule, make sure that there's time in it to address things that matter to you. It could be your health, your finances, your mental and emotional well-being, all of those things that can keep you stuck. That's where I really would love to see you put your time and energy. You can snip those cords on the sort of energy in this cobweb on the Devil card, but it just takes some time and energy on your part, okay? Let's see how you're showing up this month. You couldn't be better. You came through with the Sun energy. This is power, this is birthing and rebirthing, this is charisma personified. Some of you might also have a child or baby. This is also that ace that I saw in my channeled messages and dreams. So planting that seed is very much like giving birth to something. And this is really just about having fun. By the way, many decks, this one included, shows lovers or partnership on this card. So that is the third card that shows partnership. Just again, for those that are wanting to see that, we have the Two of Cups, which literally reads love, Ten of Pentacles, which is wealth, but it's also a wealth of love and partnership. And we see lovers, lovers, and lovers again here. Or partnership, partnership, partnership. There is multiple opportunities this month for you to connect with others. People are drawn to you. Also, this is the most magnetic card you can probably pull because it represents the thing that is the glue in our own solar system, the sun. It's what keeps us all together. It's the glue. So we're going to go back now to my channeled messages. I love when there's a synchronicity, and there's definitely one here. So I mentioned earlier that I saw this sort of viscous, sort of like, it was almost like glue energy that was holding you to multiple things in your life. So you are the glue, but you can also decide where you want to kind of like call things in and where you want to release stuff, because sometimes that glue is keeping you stuck. Sometimes it's helping things stick around that you want to. And I think the main thing here is just to use that energy of attraction with more intention. And that's going to be your kind of like key to success here. So birthing, creating, starting something new, also emerging completely reborn or reimagined from whatever this was and saying, well, I know what I don't want, and now I'm going to go for what I do. Solar plexus energy and activation, really focusing on strengthening your core, and then working on confidence and speaking up, and also just kind of really making sure that when you have a conversation or an engagement, you're paying attention to your nonverbal, your body language as well. All of these things matter, and practice makes perfect. That's one thing that I will say with that. Let's take a look at what's going on in the environment here. We have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and I actually think that this energy along with this energy is working together. Seven of Wands can be a pushy energy in the environment. This can represent someone around you that knows maybe that you're not completely invested or want to do something, but they want you or they need your help, and they're basically kind of coercing you. And you can even see that sense here. It can be a defense card, but it can also be one where you're being pushed or coerced. So the main thing that I would say here is stand your ground. So we want to flip the card in the upright position, and you just push back and you say, no. Basically no means no. And you hold your ground. Some people are just testing your resolve, making absolutely sure that what it is that you're doing is what you want to do. And one of the ways that you can basically clear things up is say, I've thought this through. That's why it's important to be strategic 1 or 2 steps ahead. Ultimately, we can also look at this as a productivity sort of message here. So some of you are really, really good at what you do, obviously, because in the deep past, we have the 6 of Wands. What happens often, this is the next card in procession, is that you get too many things coming across your particular plate because of your skill, your acumen, your expertise. And so you have to be a little bit more picky. And that was what I said at the beginning, discernment. You can really think, do I like this person? Do I like this project? Does this make me happy? And in happiness, I'm also talking about fulfillment. Does it bring a sense of joy, balance, intrigue, inspiration, all those things? Or is it just one more thing contributing to the fog? So push back on things that are like that and embrace things or attract things that are bringing a sense of joy and happiness. By the way, the Sun is a baby card, so it's also one of just having fun and moving forward. So you'll know the things that really feel like they bring out that inner child. Work smarter, not harder. Do less, but do it better. It's not about how much or how often, it's the quality at the end of the day. And that's something I stand behind and try to do in my own life. I could put out 10 videos a day, but I'd rather do 2 that really matter instead. And also there's just so much, there's only so many hours in a day and so much energy. You have to find your balance. It's going to be different for each person, okay? So that is what this card is really embracing and encouraging you to do. All right, as we look at what's coming through in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunity, it's fantastic. And this is an example of taking a few steps back and then being able to really do something amazing. 3 of Wands represents immediate manifestation. And sometimes what happens with the 3 of Wands is, in the traditional card, we see someone looking at the ships coming in. But if they're focusing here, 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 some other direction, they could miss that cue. So this is basically saying, don't get distracted. Now, this is a really great card showing that you can juggle a few things at once, literally. But it also is saying, make sure that you're focusing on everything else around you, because this is a very focused energy. And what you're being asked to do this month is look at this and look at that. Keep an eye on the horizon as well as the task at hand. And if you need to let go of a couple things, remember your center card was this. You can delegate so you can get that future looking view. You can take a day or 2 off and say, where am I at? Why am I juggling all of these things? Okay. So what I like about the 3 of Wands is it shows that you can do things in real time. It's not going to take months or years. It could take days or weeks instead. So we see something that's within reach, something that can happen this month, including untethering yourself from whatever this might represent. And we mentioned that it could just simply be a thought that's sticking you in place. So when you liberate yourself from that thought, we have the outcome here, which is this freedom energy of temperance. One step at a time towards the new tomorrow. And we start to see what? A clearing, folks. And the Sun clears up the fog too. So you have to be the clearing agent in your own life. It's like cleaning your house. It's not the most fun thing. Today I had to do my laundry. We have everyday things as a human being that we have to do that aren't a lot of fun, but they're very necessary. So take time to clean things out. Clean your mind through meditation, through talking to someone. Clean your house out. Get rid of the clutter that's sort of like distracting you. In your relationships, in your finances, look at the things that are just adding to that feeling of being weighted down or the fog, and clear that out as well. Let's take a deeper dive. Speaking of all those different areas, let's look at health, wealth, love, and destiny and really get some clarity on all of those things, starting off with your health card, which is your mind, body, and spirit. As we take a look at your oracle card, we have the warrior coming through. This is definitely connected to this. Because the little snake can be connected to the devil. Even the horns on this can be connected to the devil. But overall, the warrior is good energy. We would possibly in tarot connect this to like the strength card, the emperor, the empress, any of the power cards. And it's basically just about standing up for what's right. So if we focus on the one thing that's really easy to get behind in this card, it's the diamond right in the third eye. So this is the ability to see without a shadow of a doubt, crystal clarity, literally, where something's going to end before you get started. And then you can avoid completely getting stuck in this web. So for some of you, it's just not overcommitting, right? You know that saying yes to someone is going to have all of these strings attached, all of these webs attached. And you could just say, while I appreciate this opportunity, or I appreciate the offer, I don't have the time. And that's usually enough. That's a nice way to say no, or I don't have the energy right now. And you may not have the interest, but we don't always have to dictate that. You can simply say, I don't want to do it. That's also good, and that helps shut things down. The other thing with this is to see all sides to a story. So one of the things that the devil energy at the top would try to do is to cloud your vision so you may not see the complexity of something in front of you. It's interesting that a lot of this is coming through with very wealth-oriented messages. We're looking at health, but I think for many of you, this is about looking at extracurricular opportunities, obligations with relationships where people are asking a lot of you. So even though it's not necessarily transactional, it is transactional on some levels here. So looking at all of that, because it's the time, the energy, and even the love that you spend that can constitute that sort of draw or depletion, and that's why it's coming through in health. And then finally, looking at the fine details of things. This includes especially anything that you are signing up for that could cause stress or that feeling of being trapped, because then that does affect mental health. So this is a particular part of your life this month that is touching the energy of relationships, and it's touching the energy of wealth, even though we're looking at health. Sometimes we can't neatly put these little pockets in their own sort of categories. There's an overlap. So I talked about some cosmic cleaning. When you clean those other areas up, it also helps you feel better. Flexibility is going to be tested. That's what the snake can represent. Your own power and awakening can also happen. This can be a Kundalini awakening because we got the snake there. Ultimately, when we're looking at the devil energy, as I talked about earlier, for many of you, this can be saying, this doesn't serve my highest good. It might kind of like make you feel stressed out. This could be an addiction that you need to step away from, or a toxic relationship or work environment. Something needs to be cleared. You'll know best what that is for you. The sooner you can clear that, the sooner you can get to the beautiful rainbow energy that we see on this card. All right, now let's take it card by card and see if there's any additional messages for health. I already covered the devil stuff. It's either mental block or an actual activity in your life that does more harm than good, and you'll know how to clear that. Or you can lean on support if you don't know how, because Two of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Sun card all have partnership energy. So you are not alone, or help is but, one phone call or like reaching of the hand away. So you just have to ask. This card can often indicate overwork or overexertion. So it's a beautiful defensive stance on this, but when we're looking at like physical activity, it can be straining of the muscles. When we're looking at, really focusing on a task at hand, it can also be like a tension headache. So please take care of yourself and don't push anything too far or too fast. You're juggling a lot, but you don't have to do as much as you're doing right now. Both of these cards can be pared down to the Two of Wands, or you can take a break. And that's the biggest thing here. Take a break. If you haven't done that in a while, it's time to do so. This can also have to do with lack of concentration or inability to focus. And of course, this can also be cognitive. Everything that we're looking at, if you're going through any of it, obviously work with a healthcare professional, but it can either be distraction or an inability to focus. So try to take all of the things around you out that are possibly causing distraction. If you still need help after that, obviously you'll work with a professional on that. But most of these cards are pretty manageable. Just avoid going overboard in anything. And when it comes to like partying, spending, working, all of those things can be done in overage or to extremes. So devil energy and Nine of Cups have a same sort of warning, which is, know when to say when, step back when you need to. And when you're truly ready to make a break, here's the cool thing. This Eight of Cups will stick. I keep getting that sticky sort of energy, and it can go in a new direction. Think of like things that orbit the sun. You're kind of going in a new orbit, in a new direction, and this is going to be a clean start. What I love about Temperance is its balance. By the way, it's also saying to really focus on what you want. She has 2 cups. It can represent partnership, it can be love, it can be just emotional happiness, but you're going to weigh every opportunity and really think like, is this serving my highest good? One step at a time, one thing at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. All right, let's move on from health to wealth, even though there's been overlap in this and the one after it. Wealth is specifically looking at resources, life purpose, and career. And we have a wonderful symbol coming through in wealth, the grasshopper. Let's pull this up to the main camera. Take a leap of faith. Things can happen faster than you expected. In what? Real time. Grasshopper needs to know where he is leaping to. So the vision and the manifestation stuff is coming together in a really, really nice way here. This is also a card showing, for those of you that are trying to learn something new, this can be a good card for absorbing, because just like a caterpillar, there's a lot of consumption here. Grasshoppers eat a lot. They can basically take a lot of knowledge or a lot of information in. So great time to go back to school. If you need to get something done, it may take more resources than you anticipated. So make sure that you plan ahead, have a contingency plan, a rainy day fund, etc. But mostly we're looking at that leap of faith. We would connect this therefore to the Fool card in Tarot. So once you've done a little bit of planning, informed movement, as I talked about, you can take that leap of faith. Let's take a look at it overall and just see what's coming through. I like that the biggest wealth card here is the Ten of Pentacles. You're on to something big or something really, really great or successful. 2 of Wands, 6 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. People like what you have to offer. Someone may try to take more than they should. So make sure for new contracts or existing contracts, you're reading the fine print and not over-delivering, under-delivering, or letting someone take more than they should. That's the main thing there. Let's break it down into 3 categories so I can fine-tune it. Those that are working, looking for work, or retired, or students. So for those of you that are working, such a great month for partnership. Again, partnership, 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 multiple cards. Also, many of you might be getting ideas at the strangest time, like getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning and you have like this epiphany. Write it down, or you're taking a shower and things are coming to you, or walking the dog. This is showing like a lot of ideas, to the point that it might be like a lot at once. So focus on where you can make the biggest impact and go from there. I think you will be asked to juggle a lot of projects at once. So try to figure out where you can make the biggest impact. And again, delegate if necessary or if possible, because this can also be pushing unnecessary stuff back or saying, hey, I need help with this. Travel could also be a part of what's going on this month for some of you, but most of you, the 8 of Cups is just going to be a necessary break. If you want to quit or leave some sort of a path in front of you, this is saying sleep on it, take a day or 2 to plan out how you're going to say it, and eventually you can absolutely do that. But what you want to make sure is that you can come to whoever's maybe questioning, are you sure? And you can say, not only am I sure, but I did the research, just like Apollo, I've done the digging and the research into all of this, and yes, I'm without a shadow of a doubt ready for this next move. My little puppy in the background likes to fluff up his bed. But some of us are going to be doing that digging and that sort of heavy lifting this month. That's going to help you make the next move, and you can do it quickly. So here's one of the things that's really cool. If you feel trapped in a current job, or if you feel like this isn't what you want, a little bit of looking, a little bit of research, you could land on your feet, find something new. We're kind of easing into those that are job seeking, but you can create something new quicker than you think. Or we have a grasshopper here. You could hop over this block and go to someone else that has a lot more clarity. These are 2 different types of angels. Obviously, that's the devil. This is one of like 3 or 4 angel cards. So Temperance, Judgment, and the Lovers have angels. And so they can all foil this or completely neutralize this. This is patience. This is finding proper balance and doing the right thing. And that's what you really are being called to do this month, Libra. So it's a perfect time, and you can find it. If you want to stay where you're at, you can find it where you're at, but you might have to hop over this person and go 1 level up or 1 level to the side and get some additional support. And that can be support in the community, that can be support in human resources, that can be friends and family that have support. There's lots of different people that can kind of filter in and help you overcome this block, okay? Definitely be careful for contracts. make sure that you're understanding what it is and that you don't get stuck in something that you don't want. If we just take this card out though, Libra, everything else is good. I feel like some of you are just having a hard time letting go, because I keep feeling that sort of stuck or sticky energy, and it's just saying it's okay to release it, whatever that is. And also knowing that there are some things that happen because the universe wants you to get uncomfortable and wants you to move on, because we can't see it in this card, but there are new ships coming in, and we see someone going out to the shore to meet this ship that you've called in. So I feel like there's a beautiful synchronicity just waiting for you, okay? So for those that have gone through something difficult, something better awaits. Back to my original message. And you can create. Go into your energy of creation, Libra. All right? For those that are looking for work this month, yes, yes, you can find it. It might take a couple weeks, might take a couple months. It won't take forever. Your partnership and your networking abilities are like off the charts. This is true of those in business or looking for work. Two of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Sun. If you're not getting out there and mixing and mingling, you should be. If you've done something really successful, this can also be the inner saboteur, by the way, for everybody. So whether you're working or looking for work, this can be a fear of rejection or getting stuck or whatever it is. But just trust that your higher guidance and higher self is going to lead you in the right path, and push for the right thing. For those that are negotiating a contract, you know what you're worth. Don't accept something less than that. And when I think back to one of my core experiences with this, I had just come off of a job where they talked me down a considerable amount. And but I had spent maybe 6 years building up experience, and I was paid a different amount. And it was like a 20% difference. It was a lot. And when I went to my next job, they were trying to make me take that short-term cut that I had only taken for maybe 6 months. I'm like, yeah, but I worked 6 years at the other salary. It shouldn't just be the last job. And I stood my ground at the negotiation table, and they really liked me, and I worked really hard. And ultimately, I got to the point where she said, well, what's your bottom line? And I gave it to them, and they took it, and we were good. And it was still maybe 10% less than I'd made at that 2 jobs ago, but I was at a better place. And then within 2 years, I had caught up again. So don't accept less than you're worth. Know how to negotiate. Push for what you know is going to be possible. It's worth it. I walked away from that feeling really, really good. And like I had overcome that previous job that was taking me for granted, and they had talked me into a lower position and a lower pay, and I knew that I should have been at a different level. So know your worth, fight for your worth, don't accept less, and this is a good month to negotiate. I feel like you've got a lot of cards working in your favor. Now, I was also realistic. I knew that I couldn't get everything that I had before, but I could get closer to that. And so be realistic and push for what's possible and what's reasonable. You may need to travel for an interview, or you may need to look outside of existing circles. 8 of Cups isn't ridiculously far. It can just be, a few steps in any direction, a few miles out of your current sort of searching radius. But do yourself the favor of doing that. And also, more importantly, for many of you that are job seeking, this is about breaking a template or cycle that you've been in, where it's like you keep getting stuck in something that you don't like. So this is saying, what if I try something else? Also, what else is out there? And again, when you start to look a little to the left or a little to the right, you're able to land on your feet rather quickly. So yes, you can find new stuff. You have to push for negotiation. Really focus on your charisma. So what you're doing to bring your best foot forward to an interview. Dress the part, do the research, smile, and really connect with them, because that's what's going to put you head and shoulders. We can have 2 equal resumes, but that charm factor and the charisma, and Libra, you've got it. You can do that. That is what's going to make or break your opportunity. All right, if you are not looking for work, let's say you're either retired. We'll look at retired first, then students. For those that are retired, the focus is on family. 10 of Pentacles is existing family. 2 of Cups are new friends, new love interests that might be coming into your life. The Sun card can also be what you're finding common interests, partners based on what you're doing. So lots and lots of people, and it's not just coming from family. So again, family, friends, love. We've got it all coming through here. And travel. There's a lot of cool things that you can be putting your energy into right now. there are some sort of activities and energies that are holding you back. There can also be people in your life that aren't used to this new version of you. So for those that are freshly retired, there may be people that make you feel bad for that or want you to kind of do something. They have like a different version of what retirement looks like. It's different for each and every one of us. Some of us want to work or volunteer or travel or do nothing. You do your thing. That's the main thing with this. And if they can't accept that or embrace it, it's more on them than it's on you. For those that are students right now, there's a lot of love and support and a lot of great energy of success here, but there's something here that you don't want. Don't move in a path or direction that is antithetical or opposite to what you feel. And don't sort of like cut yourself off from going after something. I think this is true of everybody, but the devil can just simply be the thought, I can't or I won't. Let's just take it out of the equation, and everything else in this spread is really good. So you owe it to yourself to try something new. And again, that works for everybody, but especially for students where you have like the sky is the limit. Okay? Let's move on to love and relationships. So Archangel Michael came through in this particular card with a focus on the root chakra. And of course, that is where safety, grounding, and stability exists in our energy system, but also in relationships. What you're really being tasked to find is what we see in this card. Literally, we have a tree with the roots here, and it's saying, we're in this for the long haul. I'm in it, rain and shine, better and worse. And so make sure that you're finding partnerships that have that sort of commitment and an understanding of what it takes to make the relationship grow, right? If there's anyone in your life that makes you feel like the wind was taken out of you, like the rug was pulled from beneath you, anything that takes you out of your power or grounding, this is the red flag to sort of say, forget about it. What I love about this is we have a warrior here that connects us also to what we talked about here. So Archangel Michael is like the ultimate warrior and the one that we see time and again in literature and art that's able to overcome the devil. Literally, you'll see him on the back of the devil with his sword. So this is your chance to say enough, particularly when it comes to a toxic relationship or something that's out of balance. You're going to put a line in the sand and say no. And again, this is whenever I have like a justice card in reverse or an ace of swords in reverse or any of the sword carrying cards in reverse, it's direct. So don't beat around the bush. Simply say yes or no. Something is right or wrong. You're going to state it with clarity and with a succinct, concise communication, and that's what's going to free you and liberate you from this. Okay? Let's break this down into 3 categories. Those in love, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in a relationship, this is the one card that we need to talk about. This can indicate a person that's outside of the relationship. It can be a parent, a friend, a neighbor, coworker that's poking their business where it doesn't belong. And as we talked about with this particular card, you're going to stand up and say, stop it, or no, or simply push that person back and really focus on the core relationship. In the core relationship, this is also a secret or something that's happening that you're not communicating about. So even if it's not a secret that you're keeping, it can be a lack of communication. And that in of itself is kind of like a form of keeping something from each other. So honesty and transparency will overcome this energy. So don't let someone else come in between you, and don't let sort of like a fact or a secret or an energy come between you. This can also be an ex in the picture sometimes because if you're divorced and you have children, you're always going to have to deal with that partner. This person could be bringing forth a little bit of a challenge. There also might be something that you just agreed to do and you forgot about it. And this is just about being honest with each other about sometimes the limits and saying, yeah, I said I was going to do it. I'm sorry I didn't do it. So come clean, be honest, be transparent, have boundaries with people that are not a part of the relationship but might be affecting the relationship. And these are the core things that you need to focus on, because everything else, Libra, looks pretty good. There's a lot of new people coming in, even for existing relationships. So it is about including the partner in that. Maybe they want to be more a part of your work or social crew, and you're going to figure out how to do that. We also see for some of you this feeling of separation, and it's just about making time for each other. One or both of you are juggling a lot. I love the love energy, though, that came through. So the Two of Cups, one partner's extending that olive branch or their hand, but the other one isn't necessarily accepting. But we see the energy to reconnect. So rekindle the flame, be honest, and maybe just kind of pull back a little bit from some of your obligations and responsibilities and focus on one another. And if you do that, you can find peace, okay? It's manageable. This doesn't concern me too much because of the placement. It's more in the head space, which can just be a limiting thought, or not saying what's on your mind, or not saying you're sorry or you love each other. So communication is the key to that. Okay, let's focus on those that are looking for love. This is a little bit more important for those that are seeking love. Yes, it could be a Capricorn energy, but it can also be a fear, like I'm afraid of being hurt again. Or you might meet someone, but you're afraid to ask the important questions. The devil energy is saying get to know them and take time. Really make sure that they are unattached. You might meet someone that isn't out of a divorce yet or isn't looking for the same things that you're looking for. And again, the same tools that helped those in a relationship will help you. We are lacking swords. We don't have any swords here. That's why things are getting complicated. So you got to talk it out and say what you are looking for and be honest about that. And when they say what they're looking for, accept it and know that sometimes if you meet someone and they look like they're like a physical match and they're a mental match and everything else is good, but they're not looking for maybe love or family or whatever it is that you're looking for. Well, they should be looking for love. I meant to say marriage. Whatever it is, there's something in the package that's missing. If that's not what you're wanting, then you can't change that. So you have to kind of like say thank you and then move on to the next person, okay? Other things that we're looking at here, I know we're not focusing on wealth, but there's a lot of energy around your work, and you're going to have a successful month here, Libra. And one of the things that could be pulling you away from relationships, and it's a good sort of devil energy, I guess, is just your responsibilities. You've got too many things on the plate. So I think this month, many of you that are looking for love may sort of be more encouraged to focus on self-care, work, finding that perfect balance. Yes, you can meet a lot of people, but just take your time. The Two of Cups here in reverse can also be rushing things. So I would say just enjoy the courtship, get to know, really accept people for, their limits and their boundaries. And also remember to exert your own limits and boundaries too. And that's going to save you a lot of time and energy. Someone from the past could be coming back. It could be someone that has the potential to really kind of like, this time around, it's going to be different. So I like that for you. And you just want to kind of embrace it as a fresh stage because the Sun card is rebirthing. People change, especially over time, but you have to sort of be able to accept the new changes. Sometimes we get stuck in the past. For those that are single and happy, optimal time to be single and happy. I think you're happy because I've got the Temperance card. I really think that you can manage a lot of different things at once. You can pull on a lot of hats right now. Again, travel, networking, personal growth and development, the sky's the limit. It's a great time to be single and happy. And for some of you, it's almost like this rejuvenating energy, being reborn. You're not tethered to that, and you're very happy with that. So that's why I like to read all of the different relationship types. You don't have to fit in any category. And for some of you, it may just be as important or as easy as reminding people that you are complete exactly as you are. It's not like that silly Jerry Maguire movie where like someone else has to complete you, or using terminology like you haven't found your better half. You are your own best half. You are whole. You're not even a half. Let's just take these crazy sayings that we've been, taught over time and recalibrate them. You are enough for yourself and more than enough. You don't need someone else to complete the equation. I think that you're going to have a lot of luck and success with personal development, with managing your finances, with meeting new people, with traveling. It's a great month ahead, Libra. Just know your limits and have good boundaries and say no when necessary. That brings us to destiny. We have the Merkaba activation, and it says transcendence, ascension, you're rising up. So this helps you get to this. Something uncomfortable, something restricting that makes you say no, that makes you walk away, helps you go to your highest version of yourself. And this is in and of itself a star. So this is helping you connect to spirit. So If you're not moving in the upward position or if you're not expanding, then why not? What can you focus on this month to help you go to the next level? It is about leveling up. That's what we talked about at the beginning. So the title for this will most likely be It's Time to Level Up. And this is helping you. Something uncomfortable will help you get to that next level, even if it's not exactly what you were looking for. Sometimes it's just saying no or letting go, but that will help you find the next big and important thing. Let's move on to sun, rising, and moon sign messages so we can get a little bit more clarity on everything that this month has to offer. Sun, rising, and moon. Synchronicity there with the Two of Pentacles, but we'll start off first with sun sign messages. The Fool. It's a reset. It's moving in a new direction. Libra sun, you're going to be fine. Some of you are traveling, some of you are moving, some of you are resetting, restarting, reimagining. You have everything that it takes to do this. This is a birthing card too. So stepping into that new version of yourself, stepping one step at a time, one breath at a time, not kind of overdoing it, getting in your headspace, knowing that the fog is about to clear, that this is a step towards a bigger, better, brighter sort of tomorrow. And it's bringing you into this activation energy to help you level up, okay? So this has the number 0. Sometimes it's 22, but it's usually 0 in most modern decks. So this is basically saying, in this moment in time, clean slate. And if you can approach change and opportunity, and even just today, whenever you're watching this, as a clean slate, that is the most powerful, magical thing that I can offer you. Is tomorrow and every moment after this reading is all about possibilities, so focus on that. Moving to rising, boss energy. So Libra rising, you can get it done. You can lead the charge. It's a really good time for business, for personal development, but also just to put on that boss hat and say, I've got this. And people are ready and willing to follow you. I mentioned this with the Six of Wands. It's another card that usually has a horse in it. It's about leading the charge, and this ostensibly is that person leading the charge. This is also about innovation. So if it hasn't been done before, but you feel passionate about it, do it. Sometimes you have to be in the bleeding edge or the cutting edge of some sort of a change or movement. If you feel like you're stuck, or if someone says you can't do it, you may actually know a way through or around that. This is one of the ultimate cards of being able to think yourself creatively through something. So I love it. You've got this, and you're going to be able to surprise people with your power, with your intellect, and with your innovative ideas. Moving on now to the moon sign, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This goes back to my initial message around not having to be the glue for everybody, not feeling like you're stretched too thin or in too many directions. Simply put, it's about speaking up and saying no, like we talked about with Archangel Michael. So once you do that, then we can get to having just one of those two aces and really being able to plant that seed of idea, of intellect, of passion, and allowing it to come to fruition. And the other thing here for some of you is to really focus on your own health and well-being. Work-life balance is normally what I read that Two of Pentacles as, or anything in your life that's taking you out of your focus or your passion. This is the time to really put your energy there, again, so you can level up and get into this Merkaba activation. Okay, let's go ahead now and focus on the final card. This is your chance to ask anything that might be on your mind that I haven't had a chance to focus on. Let's see what Spirit has to say. All right, we have the Chariot card coming through in reverse. First message from Spirit: it's okay to change direction. It's all right to change your mind. This is a month where you may be asked to take the reins and fix something in your life. The message here is that you really want to do it yourself. Don't give away power or authority to someone else. Do it. Sometimes you do have to do this on your own, and you have the capacity to do it. You can fight for the right to do what you need to do as well here with the Chariot. The reversal of this can also be an opportunity for you not to micromanage. There may be people in your life that are perfectly capable or happy to take on a task or a duty, and they don't need oversight. So take a step back. There may be people around you trying to micromanage you. So what you're going to do again is put a line in the sand and say, No, please give me my time and space and allow me to finish what I said I was going to finish. And as a yes or no question, this one is really saying yes, as long as you feel that sense of autonomy, of control. And if you have to give it up this month, it's a no, it's a hard pass. It's really important to feel independent, empowered, and that you have agency and authority over your own path. And if anything is taking you out of that, it's time to move in a different direction. And that's everything, Libra. It's a pretty good month overall. Again, the main challenge this month is just in letting go of this, whatever that might be, and embracing this level up opportunity. Okay? Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey here in this month ahead. If you enjoyed this, it's really easy. It helps quite a bit. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and then hit the like button. If you've already subscribed, thank you. You can also leave a comment. It's a great way for me to know, like what's resonating with you. Give me a follow also on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. Just a reminder, I do not give any private readings, nor will I use direct messages. So if someone's doing that, block and report, let me know about it as well so I can do the same. You can always show support right here by becoming a channel member, doing a super sticker or super chat, or like I said, simply commenting and liking or subscribing. Thank you again for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to help you navigate and see what's ahead. And until I see you again, all the best.